Hey guys, in the summer tutorial I got a request to do This Week Too, so that's what I'm going to go over in this video. So first off, the song's in E major, which is another one of my favorite keys, and it's all finger picking, as you probably would have guessed, as the majority of my songs are. I very rarely use a pick. I think Rain is probably, at least on my last album, that's the only one that I used a pick on. But anyway, so it's mostly all this finger picking pattern, which is just a roll. So it starts with your thumb and index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and you just roll up the strings. So from low to high. And the rhythm is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that fifth note is a slide that we're going to do. But for the first 4 notes, start off with just an open E with thumb, and then the next one is the octave, which you take your index finger and put it on the 7th fret of the A. Also, the tab for this is all in the description if you want to follow along that way. So, index finger on the 7th fret, and then we make a power chord with your 2nd finger, which is going to be next string 2 frets over. And then we're going to continue that pattern with the pinky, and that is again another string up and 2 frets forward. That's a cool chord. And then for the last note, we're going to slide that pinky up a whole step, so up 2 frets, and then up to the 13th fret. So what might be difficult here, if you're not if you don't finger pick a whole lot, is just the right hand, the roll. Getting that smooth. But so far, the beginning riff, what we have is so we let that low E just ring out, and those first 2 notes, as soon as you start the slide, go away. Kind of like a sweep, but a finger picking folk sweep instead of a super metal one. So far we got. And you do that 4 times. And then after that, we're going to move this whole shape, this power chord on power chord on power chord, just 2 power chords, over to where it starts on the 4th fret. So 4, 6, 8. And the right hand's going to do exactly the same thing. And then when you slide with your pinky, instead of sliding a whole step, you slide up a half step, which is just 1 fret up. So from the 8th fret to the 9th fret. Whoop, I'm doing it wrong. Yeah, 8 to 9th. And then it ends kind of differently. After the slide, you add 1 more note, which is the open B, and you do that with your right hand. And I just do it with my ring finger. So and that's just kind of on the upbeat before you go back into the riff again on the when your head's up here. And you could really exaggerate it if you want to be more epic. I don't know. Alright, well, no editing. I'm going to keep my silliness in here. So far we got. I'll play it a little bit slower one time through. And then right before you go into the chorus, you switch things up a little bit, and instead of doing all the way through, halfway through, so after 2 normally, you take my index finger and I put it on the 5th fret on the E string. So this way, the first two notes you get are both A's. And I like doing this a whole lot in my music. Somewhere to Run To is another song where I do it a whole bunch, where I have two strings that are playing the exact same note, and I think it adds a really warm sound. I like it a lot. It's pretty cool, I think so. Cool as in interesting, and warm as in sound. Oh, you get it. But anyway, so instead of, I bring my index finger up here to get two A's. And what's different about when I switch to this is instead of bringing my fingers off of it, once I start the slide, is I just leave them on there to let them ring out and get a little bit of dissonance in there. And I think that's, I use dissonance a lot to transition into something, so just like a little bit of eh is desired. So anyway, what we got so far is time end with the B, and then if this was the end of the verse, we would end it like this. Cool. And then that goes into the chorus, which starts with a good old G major here, and the finger picking pattern with the right hand changes a little bit, and it's still going to sound like it's exactly the same, but instead of getting that last note with a slide with the left hand, I just double up with my ring finger and then go all the way to the B. I guess you could also do it with the pinky if you want to bring in all your fingers into it, though I find that to be a little bit weird, so I just double up with my ring finger. I don't use my pinky on my right hand, I think, ever. Start using it more. But so there it is, E major, same rhythm, and then I find, here's something that I do a lot, I find chords that have a lot of open strings, like this one, E major has 3 open strings, and then I take the strings that I'm fretting, and then I bring every note that I'm fretting up 1 in the scale, so like this one go to here, this one go to here, and so on, and then I get more chords that way, and so on. So that's usually in my songwriting strategies. That's usually something I do. I do it a lot with the G chord as well. So and keep those open strings going. So anyway, after the E major, we still fret the same strings, we just move the position around. And the next one it's a little bit different of a chord shape, and the frets are 6, 6, 4. And then, so we go E major to 6, 6, 4, and then we move that over a whole step to 4, 4, 2. So, I was doing the rhythm a little bit different there, but so far the chorus is, so these are kind of quick, but those are the chords that we use, so it's, and the right hand just does the same thing the whole time. And once we got that, this one, which is one of my favorite chords, and whenever I'm in E major or I play in E major, I always just have to go to this one. Like, it's so ingrained in my head now. It's one of my favorite chords, and if I ever play a song where I use E major and I don't want to use that chord, it's really hard because I really want to move over to it because it just moves so nicely into that from E major. But anyway, this chord is, you take E major and then take your second finger and just move it up to the E string on the second fret, and then have the A be open. And it's one of my favorite chords. I like it a lot. So we end on that one. Mess that up. And then the next time we do something a little bit different, same thing, and then we just switch where where our right hand goes. And this is all on the tab too, of course. So for the ending of the chorus, we keep the right hand going the same, and then for the ending, we just take that same pattern and move it up a string. So it starts at the A, but nothing changes with the left hand for that part. And then at the very end, when I go to the A, I switch my hand around here a little bit to get the same chord, but I add the 4th fret on the high E string. And then pull off to start the verse again. Or, sorry. I'll play the ending one more time, a bit slower. And I still am playing this chord, but I bring my second finger over to the D string so I can get my pinky there. Otherwise it'd be kind of a stretch. And I'd rather just do it like that. So yeah, that's this week too, or at least the majority of it. So here's everything we went over. Starting with the verse. And then we can pretend that this is the end of the verse already. And like this. This week has been so stressful. This week has been so hard. And I'm sorry I pushed you this far. I shouldn't have pushed you at all. Kinda messed up a few times, but that's okay. I got it right the first time until the camera shut off on me, so I had to do some editing on this one. No editing on the next one though. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy the song. I would love to see some video responses for it if you're up for it. Let me know other songs you'd want to see me go over, and thanks for watching.